Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Zachary Quinto will star opposite Robin Tunney in MCC Theater's new production of Noah Haidle's critically acclaimed play Smokefall. Under the direction of Anne Kauffman, performances begin February 4th at the Lucille Lortel Theater, and we drop by the rehearsal room to meet the company. First of all, Happy New Year, my friend.
Thanks, you too. Good to see you.
How did this play come about for you?
Well, it was kind of, it was a bit of a magical experience, which is part of the reason why I knew how to do it. I knew Noah probably about 7 years ago. We met, we were introduced, professionally to kind of talk about work, and then we saw each other a couple of times, but I haven't seen him in probably 5 years. And I literally ran into him. I was back in New York for 3 days and went out to brunch, and a friend that I was at brunch with is very good friends with Noah's wife, and she came to join us for brunch and was telling us about her life in Detroit as a painter and her playwright husband. And I said, "Who's your husband?" And she said, "Noah Haidle." And I said, "I know Noah Haidle. This is crazy." And then Noah came and met us, and we ended up spending the afternoon together. And in the course of the afternoon, he told me that he was here to start getting this production together. And I was picking his brain about the play, and I was really interested in getting back on stage. And I said, "Can I read it? Is there something for me in it?" And he said, "Actually, there is." And I read it on the plane. I left the next day, and I was going to work overseas, and I read it on the plane, and I landed and called my agent and said, I have to do this play. There's something really haunting and poetic about this play, and beautiful, and in the hands of Anne Kauffman, I feel like really profound. So I'm thrilled to be here and to be working with MCC, and I just love that company and what they do and how they do it, and I love the Lortel. I love the idea of going from a big Broadway experience a couple of seasons ago to a really intimate and contained experience that's really about the creative process and really about exploring and honoring the work. Not that that wasn't, but it's about other things too. And so I'm really thrilled. It's a great company and a great group of people, and it's only our third day, so we have a lot of work to do, but we're off to a good start.
What was that first day like for you? I'd love to talk to actors about that table read. Scary, frightening, fun, enlightening. What's it like for you?
On this project, I can have very strong reactions to an experience personally, for better and for worse. So I really just tried to come in and have the experience and not have opinions and not have judgments and not have anything other than a commitment and an openness. And that's how I'm really approaching this play. It's a lot about getting out of my own way, and this play is complicated. It's not easy. It's not clear always what we're getting at, and that's the beauty of it, but it's also the potential frustration of it for someone like me. It's like I love to have answers, I love to be quick, I love to know what's going on and have a grasp on something, and it's not possible because the scope and the scale emotionally of this play is much broader than it appears to be when you think you're seeing a play just about a family. But what you realize ultimately is that you're seeing about a play about what we inherit from our families that we have no choice in, and what we do with that inheritance, and what we unwittingly gain from generations previous and then pass to generations future. So I hope that it lingers with the audience as much as it lingered with me after I read it.
You're making your stage debut. How excited are you?
I'm really excited and scared and adrenalized. It's what I've wanted for so long. And I was saying before, I lived in New York for a long time, and I'd always auditioned for plays before I'd gotten movies and TV, and I just didn't get them. And then when I started doing movies and TV, I was too afraid to do them because I thought, they're going to kill me. The critics are going to kill me. I'll be terrible. I haven't done this before. And I just got so old that I didn't care anymore. I was like, bring it on.
And what a way to bring it on. This is such a great play. I read Noah's play. I'm a huge fan of his. As a playwright, when you first got the play and you read it, what were the initial reactions you had?
I cried my eyes out, and I just wrote my agents right back. I said, this is beautiful. I really have to do this. And I made an audition tape in California, and I sent it in, and I had a call back via Skype. But I had never had a Skype audition because they didn't have those before The Mentalist started. So I didn't know how to work my Skype, so I ended up having to do it on FaceTime on my iPhone. So Noah and Annie were like this big, and I was like acting to my iPhone and couldn't really hear the lines. But apparently it wasn't a total disaster. And then they were still deciding, and I was like, I'm getting on a plane. I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to go to New York. And Annie was like, are you sure? I was like, I'm coming. And I have a charity here that I work with, and I, did some stuff with them. And I met her, and I got the play, and I found out on Houston and danced on Houston. I was so excited.
You're going to do a lot of dancing during this process, trust me. You just started rehearsals like a few days ago, right?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. I was saying earlier, the best thing about the rehearsal so far has been how kind everybody is. Because I think when you come from a different world, you worry that, there's going to be a certain amount of hazing. Like, who's this TV chick? She played a witch in a movie. You're going to come to Broadway, right? That everybody's been so supportive, and it's like a nurturing environment. And how lucky am I that, I get to do a play written by Noah and directed by Annie, who's an amazing director. I could have ended up, doing Annie Get Your Gun in Minnesota. As my first, it's so lucky, and just hope I don't screw it up.
Oh, you're not going to screw it up at all. Great cast. What was that first table read? I speak to actors all the time, and they're like, it's exciting, it's frightening when you hear all the voices come off the page that first day. What was that like for you, that first day of rehearsal?
I was surprised at how many people were at the table reading. Usually table readings are very private. I was saying it's kind of looking at other people's vacation photos, it's dull. Really, you want to come to our table reading? It was exciting. I felt nervous beforehand, and it was really wonderful to see, because I've read the play so many times now, sort of getting ready to see the embodiment of these voices and these characters, and also it's such an odd play to see how that stuff really works and does translate. And I'm such a fan of Zach's, and I'm so happy that he's here, and his part is so hard, and he's just going to be wonderful. And Julia, everybody, it was exciting. It was nerve-wracking because there's people watching before you're ready. You feel really exposed, but it was great.
It's like that first day of school. It never goes away.
It is. Annie described it as a family reunion where you don't know anybody, but you have all the anxiety. It was great though, and I love the play. I just think it's so exciting because it goes into familiar territory, the idea of exploring family, which is a theme for a reason in so many plays, because we all have one, and we can all identify with it. And the idea that, you love your family, you don't always like them. And it's been sort of very traveled terrain, but it's so modern in the way that he tells the story, and just when it's getting sort of very dramatic, it has this incredible humor, which we all have with our family, even in the midst of sort of trauma. And he breaks so much new ground. There's an entire act that are my fetuses in utero talking. And it's brave. I mean, he's such an amazing writer, and also so literary. The words are so beautiful. I can't wait for people to see it.
So you're making your stage debut.
Yeah, I'm making my stage debut with Smokefall. So
what a way to make it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Anne Kauffman is an amazing director, and Noah Haidle is just he writes so beautiful. So he's amazing. So
I read the play. I love his works. I saw Mr. Marmalade. I've seen some of his other stuff. What did the play mean to you when you first read it? I mean, what do you love about his writing?
I loved the play because it was so different. I thought each character was developed so well. I thought that, his writing has just so many different colors and layers, and it's just so rich, and it's beautiful. So
now, who do you play? What can you tell us so far?
Yes, I play Beauty in Smokefall, and she's the daughter, and so.
I know it's how long have you been rehearsing?
We just started 2 days ago, I want to say. So, but it's been so great. It's been so much fun. I feel like I've known these people for a long time, and it's just, I'm having a blast. And the actors are they're all so incredible. Sometimes I'll sit, it won't be my scene, and I'll just sit and I'll watch, and I'm just forget. I'm oh my God, I forget that I'm in the play. I feel like the audience, I'm wow, they're amazing. So
What was that first reading like? I've spoken to a lot of actors who are like, oh my gosh, it's the most terrifying thing, that first table read, but one of the most exciting things, because you hear all these voices come off the page. What was that like for you?
for me, it was a little bit of both. But I feel like every table read that I have, even with films, you have a table read, and it's also very exciting and scary because you want to do a good job, you know. So that's the scary. You don't want to like fumble up. You don't want to you want to make sure that everyone's on the same boat. So, yeah.
And just working with this cast and the whole process of doing a play, what that means to you.
It's incredible. I'm just so excited to be spending time with these people every single day and working with such incredible actors. I feel like I'm so lucky to have working with these people. It's incredible. So
You've done a lot of film. You did that wonderful film with Lily Tomlin, which so you shot in like 19 days?
yeah, I shot it in 19 days. Well, we all did.
Yeah.
It was very short time. So, but it was incredible. I loved it, and I feel very lucky. I worked with such incredible actors, and now again. So
what are you looking forward to the most with making your stage debut with MCC and Smokefall?
yes, I'm totally. I mean, also this play is so beautiful, and the subject, you know, it's about a family, and it's very hard to explain, but it's about a family and time and change, and that's always a touchy subject for everyone, and I'm just excited to perform it every night and say the words, and it's just going to be great. I'm really excited.
So here we are.
Yes.
How did Smokefall come about for you, John?
I've known Anne for a number of years, and they sent me the script, said interested, and I read it, and I thought, this is very intriguingly odd. And of course I am. And Anne is a wonderful director to work with, and I didn't know Noah beforehand, but I do now.
Because I've seen a few of his plays here before, and of course I
Yes.
read Smokefall. It's such a wonderful play. What do you admire the most about him as a writer?
I think the audacity of putting his imagination unabridged and unfearfully on the page, and his ability to I guess work as he's going along, work with the cast and work with the director to make sure that things are clarified. Because if you've read the script, you understand that there are some equivocal moments in it, and one wonders what world we're actually in here. And we are indeed in the world of Noah's imagination, and the world of the history of his life. And that's what I find. That's what I found compelling about the.
I'm fascinated by this play.
Yeah.
Talk about the role that you're going to play.
Well, I wish I could talk about it more with any degree of wit or intelligence. You know, when you get into a play like this, when you start working on a play like this, it can be very elusive and a little slippery sometimes. But you know that there is, at the bottom of a well, there is a great deal of fresh water. Not to stretch a metaphor to extremes. This is two characters. I play both a grandfather and the grandfather's grandson in the play, and the ensuing history, the history between the two of them, in the interim, is I think what's fascinating about the play, the story that gets told about what's between the two ages. Other than that, you know, one of the things that always intrigues me about this sort of play is the amount of discovery that you make during rehearsal. If it were a play that was simple and straightforward and apparent to all readers, the rehearsal process would be one thing. This kind of play, it's kind of a launch into mystery and sometimes the unknown, and a long process of wonderful discovery.
So how did this play come about for you, Brian?
Well, I was sent the play to read and audition for, and I immediately responded to it. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful and lyrical and smart and funny, and I had actually done Noah's play Mr. Marmalade before, so I was in that about 9 years ago, so I was familiar with his work. So I read it and loved it and was thrilled that they asked me to do it. So.
How do you describe the play?
Wow, tough play to describe in short, but I think sort of magical realism and sort of a lyrical, poetic take on forgiveness and family and making good choices and hope and living a life filled with optimism.
Now, who do you play? What can you tell us about this man you're going to inhabit?
I play Daniel, who's a husband and father. At the beginning of the play, we realize that he's making a decision that day that is going to affect his immediate family and then subsequently the generations to come. So we sort of see that unfold in the course of the play, and how the generations to come are affected by this one decision, and how people hang on to the past and need to, sort of push through and live a life filled with hope.
Yeah. You're working with one of the finest directors. Talk about working with her so far.
Indeed. She's amazing. I mean, she's smart and intuitive and interested in the play. She and Noah have worked on this play a few times before, so she really knows it. You get a sense that she knows the play, she knows these people, and I have complete trust and faith in her, and she's also really collaborative, so she's up for any ideas that we have and incorporating that into what we're doing. So it's been a dream so far.
Did you not work with Anne Kauffman before?
No, I've auditioned for her a couple times, and we both I think we're really interested in finding something that we can do together, so I'm thrilled.
And then there's this cast.
Amazing cast, yeah. I mean, what more can you say? It's a great group of people, actors that I didn't know before personally, but I knew their work, and so it's just been great. We're having a really good time so far.
So what are you looking forward to the most with doing Smokefall?
I'm looking forward to just really continuing the rehearsal process for now and exploring the play and seeing sort of how it translates from reading it the first time and reading it the first few times in rehearsal, and then sort of where we get as a group. I love that. I love that process, and then eventually getting in front of an audience. But there's so many different things about this play that are great. Most of us play a few different characters, so that's fun too.
So what can you tell us about the roles so far?
Yeah, I mean, essentially I play 3 different characters. In the first act, I play a character called Footnote, who is the narrator of the play and gives the audience information that the characters in the world of the play don't give the audience. In the second act, I play an unborn fetus. There's that. And then in the third act, I play the adult son of the fetus that I play in the second act. So there's a cyclical nature to the play, and an evolution of this family that takes place over the course of the play that I think will be really surprising for the audience and really unexpected for them. And I think that's the thing that people will take away and explore within themselves and with the friends that they come to see it with. And I think there's a lot to talk about and think about after you go through this experience.
And there's the cast.
Yeah, the cast is an amazing group of people.
Did you know Robin before?
I met Robin before, yeah. We have some mutual friends, and we have met before. But it's a great company. Everybody's come to the table with a lot of openness and willingness to bring their own experiences to bear. Yeah. And I think that's important for a piece like this, that there has to be a softening of boundaries and barriers that we put up in our lives on a daily basis just to get through the world. But a play like this really demands a softening of that, and it's been great to see everybody willing to come to the table with that.
So here we are. First of all, I have to tell you, I read your play.
Oh, no shit.
And
You're the one.
Yeah, I'm the one.
Oh, wow.
And I saw Mr. Marmalade, too.
Oh, no shit.
Which I loved at Roundabout.
You're the one.
I'm the one.
Oh, my God, that did terribly. Go on.
I love that play. Michael C. Hall, I love that play.
Dude, one of the worst things that's ever happened in Lessons for Playwrights was I used to have an intermission during previews, and there's a public bathroom, and I went in to take a piss, and there was a dude next to me who looked over and said, "Worst play ever, man." And I go, what do you do then? I go, I know, right? And at that point I was like 26, and I was like, ooh, and ran away. And never since then do you use the public bathroom during intermission. Anywhere else, in the corner, backstage, just piss on the floor. But it was brutal. So lesson to playwrights, don't talk to people during intermission. Try not to.
Every great playwright and composer has exactly the same stories. You're in really, really good hands, just so you know that.
I know
But
it.
that was an incredible play,
thanks.
incredible performances.
Brian was in it. Brian Hutchison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love this play.
Oh, thanks.
How did you come about to write this?
Oh, Jeepers Creepers. I mean, how does one answer that? Geez. I don't have a great answer. It's been with me a really long time. And so the initial impetus, I don't know if I even remember or have a very intelligent answer. I can make a bullshit answer up. I mean, but the real answer, I don't remember the actual impetus. The one I can say now, this play is like only 86 pages. And I've been with it for like 6 or 7 years. And it's not the only thing I've been doing, but like that's like a page a month or something. It's really crazy how long it's been a part of my life. And Annie, the director, has been with it as long, and our lives have changed very, very much over the course of that. So I think it changes, the meaning changes for us as we keep going. And I've never been with anything that long. Like, I live in Detroit, as I was telling you. There's a joke in there, like, never go to Detroit. And the joke doesn't even work anymore because Detroit's cool as shit, you know? So, like, that's how old it is, or how long we've been with it. A joke is now not as funny.
You had an incredible 2 major productions in Chicago at the Goodman with this.
Yeah.
And now you have this incredible cast in New York.
Yeah.
Is it like discovering the play all over again?
Well, it's always different, and that's one of the joys of being a living playwright is, in not a bullshit way, my job, I feel, is giving the opportunity for as many creative, talented people to give their time and have somewhere they can go and invest their creative imagination. And so every time you do it, it's a different cast of characters, different collaborators, and to see this cast and this theater put their energy and their time into this is, when you're a kid like me who wants to be a playwright, like, this is it. It doesn't get any better.
So what, I know you've been rehearsing for like a little over like just a few days?
Yeah, just a few days.
I mean, dynamite cast.
Yeah.
What's the rehearsal room been like for you?
I mean, samesies. It's always a little weird getting to know people. There's always that awkward, like, cocktail party, like, family reunion where you don't know anyone. And everyone's a little on edge. Everyone wants to do well. Everyone wants to, you know, it's nerve-wracking. Like, I went into a flop sweat. Totally. It's very hallucinatory. And because writing a play, like, it's like having a bunch of other people watch a dream of yours, like, almost literally. And so it's really, really fucked up. It's really crazy. And to see some of these people, it's like, fucking Robin Tunney is doing that, fucking Zach Quinto. And you're like, what? How is this happening? So, crazy. But lovely. Everyone's lovely. Yeah.
And working here at MCC, I mean, fabulous theater company. I mean, being a part of their family now, what it means, Joe. I know it's new for you.
Yeah, totally. I hope I'm part of the family. I hope it's just not a one and done. You know, we'll see how this does. But they've been lovely, lovely, lovely. Absolutely.
So what are you looking forward to the most with having Smokefall in New York?
It doing amazing and getting a shit ton of money. And my wife's a painter in Detroit, so being able to afford paints for her. I don't know. I mean, how to answer that question. The Bhagavad Gita, I can't believe I'm quoting that. The Bhagavad Gita says you have the right to the work, but not the reward. And if one's goal is to achieve something at the end, then why? I mean, that's not, if you go forward that far, then you're missing what's happening. And so for me, I don't know when this will happen again. This is the end of the journey for me and Annie. So I'm trying to wake up and enjoy every day. And we'll see how it goes. That's not up to me. I can't be in charge of any person's reactions. So hope for the best.
Okay, I think Noah is the coolest guy in the world, the coolest playwright.
Did you already interview him? Yeah, he's very, very cool for many, many reasons. Do you want me to expound on that? He's a madman, as you know. He intuits life. It doesn't necessarily go through his brain. It goes through his heart. We've worked on this play now. This is the third time. This is the third production that we'll be doing. And each time we're in the rehearsal room, he falls in love with the actors and rewrites to their personalities and to their rhythms, etc., which is amazing and also terrifying for me sometimes. But usually ends up being quite spectacular. So, yes.
What a dynamite cast you've assembled for New York.
No, it's incredible. I mean, I was saying that we've had, with our experience, we've had tremendous casts in the past, and because the play is so expansive and we can incorporate so, it's about life and it's about our travails and our happinesses and the journey through it. We can be specific about the kinds of directions that we want to go in, because we've done certain directions and now we're interested in new directions, and so we could be very focused on who we wanted and this time around, and so we're thrilled. We're thrilled.
What was that first day like for you? I was talking to Robin. Table reads. I talked to all these actors. They're exciting. They're scary. But I'm sure as a director and for Noah, you hear these voices coming off the page.
Absolutely. I mean, normally it is sort of nerve-wracking. Did we do the right thing, et cetera, et cetera. But because I feel like this is a different experience for me, because I know this play so well and Noah knows this play so well, and I had every confidence in this cast, I really was able to kind of sit back and enjoy it in a way that I don't normally do. Yeah.
And being back at MCC, because you directed the Nether with them, right?
Yes, I did. These guys are they're the best. I feel like we are in the trenches in a way they're so present and they're so passionate about the work, and they're weird like us, so it feels like a family.
Here we are again. You guys do the coolest work here at MCC.
Thank you.
I read this play, I fell madly in love with it, and I was like, of course, MCC is going to do Smokefall. What made you guys decide to do this?
Will Candler, my partner, was the first person to read it, and he just said, oh my God, Bobby, Bernie, you have to read this right away. I love this play. And we all read it like we always do, and we all felt the same way. It's so poetic and it's so imaginative, and yet it's right to the core about family, about who we are, about what we could have been, what we should have been, and it just really struck a chord for all of us. And it had nothing to do with seeing the production in Chicago, because I never even saw it. It was just Noah's writing and how it allows your imagination to really go.
He's the coolest playwright. I got to speak to Noah. I mean, what a great guy.
Yeah, he's really funny. I mean, I'm just getting to know him personally. I knew his work, of course, but he's really wonderful. Just yesterday at the first read-through, the way he talked to the board members, he was so engaging and so, wanted to know what they thought. And he's just really collaborative, especially for someone who's had 3 productions of this play already. He's treating it like it's a whole new thing.
You hire the best people here at MCC, including your director again. I mean, talk about your history with Annie.
Yeah, we love Annie. She directed The Nether last year. And again, she's someone Bobby and Will and I have just really loved her work. And yet, when we got to work with her last year, it was so collaborative and so much fun. We couldn't wait. And when we knew she had a history with this play and was connected to Noah, it seemed like a sort of perfect match to have them back.
And then there's your cast.
Yeah, it's pretty great, right? I mean, Zach Quinto has been a friend of the company's, and he's seen so many of our plays, and he's been involved in so many readings. It's nice to actually get to have him on stage in one of our productions. I've cast a bunch of his movies that he's produced, and I feel like he's been here 5 times already, so we're excited. And then, people like John DeVries, I mean, he's like an icon. Not an icon, you know what I mean, but he's just like a
theatrical New York icon, totally.
He's just... I've seen everything I think he's ever done. So, it was so great to be at the read-through the other day and go, oh my God, John DeVries is in our own theater. And then Julia, who's brand new, and Brian, we've known for a while, and Robin, who's doing
her debut, stage debut.
Which is so great. And that's another one who's one of those wonderful stories when she did a general with Will and said, I really want to do a play. And, she has seen every off-Broadway play. She had seen plays at our theater. And she was really serious about really wanting to do one. And then this came up, and she read, and she met with Annie, and...
Well, she told me her history of Skyping and trying to iPhone and then coming to New York.
No, and that, you have to be attracted to that passion, to someone who's really making a commitment to really do a play and not just talk about doing a play.
One incredible season you've had here so far. What's next for MCC?
We're doing Hallie Pfeiffer's play, which I won't give away the title because it's the longest.
It's a really long one.
It's like the longest title in the history of theater, but we're excited. It brings Trip Coleman back, who's directed many, many plays at MCC, and he's worked with Hallie before. And it's also another wonderful sort of relationship and personal play. So we're excited about that. And then we have Miscast, which I know is your favorite benefit.
I love that gala.
It's my favorite gala. But April 4th, Monday night, this year we're honoring Marissa Tomei, which is thrilling because the first play we ever produced at MCC Beirut by Alan Bound, Marissa was the star in. So it's bringing back Marissa to the theater, and we already have a great lineup of performers, and we're really excited about it.
So people can still get tickets for Miscast, right?
Yeah. There's still a few tickets left, but no, there's a lot of tickets left. Please come and support Miscast. We have the show-only seats. We have the benefit tables. It's just going to be a great night.
So they can go to your website to get tickets, MCC?
Yep, MCC. So go to our website and you can get tickets.